Fast fashion. It's a big problem, and it's absolutely everywhere we go. From popular online retailers like Shein to the everyday stores at the mall, brands are constantly releasing new styles at affordable prices. But the environmental impacts are hard to ignore. But how does that reflect in our everyday shopping habits? And what can we do as consumers to help such a large problem? I sat down with 3 of my friends to talk about their shopping habits, accessibility, and what we can do moving forward to shop sustainably, consistently.
I usually look for affordable pieces and things that I can wear with many different outfits.
So I think when I go shopping, I'm looking for, something that's worthwhile. But I'm definitely looking for something on the cheaper end because I am a broke college student and I'm employed at $7 an hour, so $8 an hour actually. And yeah, something probably on the lower end price range. But good quality for my buck. I know when I used to go to Forever 71, I could find some really cool cheap stuff. Now it's a little bit on the pricier end, but yeah, something a little lower priced.
I definitely have certain brands that I like to shop at. I really only buy jeans from American Eagle. And as for price point, that's definitely a deciding factor as to whether I buy something or not. I definitely look for cheaper price points, just because it's more affordable, and obviously I'd want something to be cheaper.
I think it's fun in some parts because I always like looking for new clothes, but then it's stressful when you can't find anything that you like.
Yeah, I think in theory shopping is really fun, because it's an activity that you can go with your friends and you can hang out, and there's also food courts and stuff. You can take cute pictures, but I think actually going is not as fun as it used to be.
Sometimes maybe I'll see a shirt that I really like, but it's just too expensive and I can't buy it, and sometimes that's frustrating. But I do know that for some people it is hard for them to go to the mall or Target or a store that's easily accessible physically in person and find stuff that fits them. And I do feel really privileged and grateful that I can walk into a store in the mall and find something that does fit me. And I know that is an issue where people really can't find things that come in their size, and I understand how that can make shopping a not so fun experience.
At the same rate, it's really hard being on a budget and finding sustainable clothing that is made ethically, I guess, and also there's no real way of knowing that. Brands that even advertise being ethical and whatever, you don't actually know. No one actually knows, unless you have the means of specifically going out and buying from a brand that is, and it's credibly good for the environment, I guess, and ethically okay. It's hard to do that on a budget.
I definitely do think of it, but I still buy clothes regardless.
Thrifting here has been a lot harder. Not because of price or anything, just mostly because a lot of the things I find here actually don't really suit my personal style, and it's much more easy for me to thrift at home and find things that do suit me. I'm not really sure why, but I have noticed that when I go thrifting in Pennsylvania, I find many less things that are interesting to me than when I go thrifting back home in Massachusetts.
It's not always the easiest, I guess, because you kind of have to sift through a bunch of clothes before you can find something that you really like. It is a fun little endeavor, but it does make me sad when a lot of rich people, I guess, go thrift shopping, because it's kind of romanticizing this environment that is made for people that don't really have the means to go to a huge mall and corporate spend all that money. So I don't like that it's kind of becoming a trend now, because these clothes might end up going up in price just because it is becoming trendy. So I do hope it stays for people that don't exactly have the means to afford super high-end clothing.
So, what needs to change?
I think brands should make it more evident, make it more known where their clothing is coming from, how it's being manufactured ethically and sustainably.
I would say the prices would have to go back down. Or not back down, but just be more affordable.
I think that definitely part of it does fall on consumers, because I think it is part of our responsibility to educate ourselves about sustainability and about the harmful effects of fast fashion. However, I do believe it is also very much the company or like the corporation's responsibility.
It is definitely the brands. It is not an individual level choice. It is a systematic. This is literally like, this is capitalism. This is not the consumer, the individual consumer. It is industries as a whole. People like make like the consumer feel guilty and like you guys should be aware. Like you guys should be recycling, reducing, and reusing. Yes, it is at the individual level, but it is also at the systematic level, and it has always been. Like climate change has been rapidly going on the past 2 centuries because of industrialization, because of capitalism. And that is just a fact.